These are my audience for today's speech. Good afternoon, good evening, Dr. Jones. Good evening to you, my audience, and good evening to you, my fellow classmates. I am Augustine Chumbua. My topic is Ghana, my happy home. If given a chance to visit any country in Africa, what will be your choice? Don't know? Let me share with you the beauty of Ghana, my happy home. I am here today to inform you about my motherland, Ghana, which was formerly called the Gold Coast, literal meaning the land of gold. The achievement it has gained and the opportunities it continues to build for the people, especially the youth. Ghana is a small country in the western part of Africa and shares boundary on the east with Togo, west with Cote d'Ivoire, and on the north, Burkina Faso. And then when you come to the south, the Gulf of Guinea. Colonization started in Gold Coast in the 13th and 14th centuries, when the Europeans like the Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, the Danes, and others visited. Ghana currently is independent and practices its own democracy. My speech today will be centered on three main ideas: colonization, independence, or road to independence, and Ghana today. First of all, I would like to talk about colonization, how it started, and then where it led the country to. In the 13th century and 14th century, like I already said, when the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the British came to Ghana, the local people were already practicing their small farming, called a subsistence farming. So when the Europeans came to Ghana, they saw that there were a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of gold on the land. So they engaged in what we call the trade. So the trade was between them and then the Europeans. And it was like this. So when you give me a cloth, when the white people give the local people a cloth, they exchange or buy with the gold. So this continued for some time. And then later, the Europeans saw that there was a lot of money involved. So they changed that to getting more able bodies to bring them to the West or the European countries to engage in farming. So they promised them about good lives here. So the local people were encouraged to patronize. So this trade grew up into what we call the transatlantic trade, otherwise called the barter trade. So the Europeans were living in forts and castles built on the coast of the country. So this went on for some time, and then in 1946 there was a group called the Big Six, which was led by one doctor called J.B. Danquah. So he organized some people numbering 6, and then they would try to gain independence from the Europeans. So at that time, 1946, it was only the British which were left, because the Danes, the Dutch, and the Portuguese had already left. So they fought. They were trying to get this, and then there came a man called Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was initially part of the Big Six, and then he separated himself from them to form what the party we call the CPP, Convention People's Party. So whilst the UGCC, which were formed by the Big Six, led by J.B. Danquah, were saying that serve government within the shortest possible time, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, serve government what? Now. So he encouraged and then mobilized some youths, and then they were able to gain independence. So in the year 1957, the 6th of March, my country Ghana gained independence from the British, which was led by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So he was made the head of state. So in 1960, he was able to gain what we call the republic. And now my country Ghana is a republic state. Ghana today, the next I want to talk about is Ghana today. Ghana today have several tourist attractions such as castles, culture and festivals, rivers and lakes, forest reserves, mountains, natural parks, wildlife, games and zoos. Ghana has gained recognition as the leading democracy in Africa. Ghana now practices its own democracy. So like the United States do, my country Ghana now vote every 4 years to either retain the government or the president, or take the president out and then replace with a different party or a different government. So I see that Ghana today has gained a lot, looking from the way they started as a colonized state with a small group of people, and now we can boast of about 25 million population. Technology has improved and extended to the villages. So as we talk today, in the villages, there are villages in my country where internet services have been extended to the places. Electricity expansion has traveled far, both to the villages and then to the cities. There are a lot of things that exist in Ghana, special opportunities. Now my country mine oil, and then there are a lot of foreigners over there. They also mine gold, diamonds, and then so many minerals. So the next I want to talk about is this session. I will open up for questions and answers. If you have any question, you, my audience, can ask me if you have any questions with what I have discussed so far. If there are any questions. If there are any questions.
So how long has your country Ghana been practicing democracy for?
Okay, thank you for your question. Ghana, my country, after gaining republic, they went to the polls to start their first democratic dispensation. So they did that, and then in 1960 there was a coup. So the coup continued until 1979 out to 1981, where there was a president called J.J. Rawlings. I mean, I don't want to go into that, but we practiced democracy for like 4 years, from 1966 to 1960 to 1964, and then there was a coup, so it was suspended. And then in 1992, our first democracy, like the good one, started in 1992 up to this time, 2016. So Ghana, I would say, has practiced democracy since 1992 up to this time. Is there any other question?
Within those democratic periods or years or ages, how many presidents or how many governments have been changed?
So thank you for your question. From 1992, there was a president in 1992, and then he ruled for 8 years. He ruled for 8 years up to 2000, and then there was a different government who came. So that government also ruled for 8 years, and then there was a different president who came and a different government. So unfortunately for that president, he was called Professor J.E.A. Mills. Unfortunately for him, he died. So he was replaced by his vice. So from 1992 up to this time, Ghana has been governed by 4 different head of state. I would say presidents, 4 different presidents. Any other questions?
In your speech, you talk about someone called Dr. Is it Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh, okay. So where's Dr. Kwame Nkrumah now?
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1996, when the coup happened, unfortunately, he was there. He was killed through the coup, so he is no more. So in 1996, that was 24 February 1996, there was a coup, and then he lost his life through that.
Did you say 1996 or 1966?
Excuse me, it's 1966. Thank you very much. So, if there are no other questions, in conclusion, I would say Ghana, my motherland, has made it far through from colonization to independence and lastly to the current day Ghana. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your attendance. And then thank you for the lost time. I appreciate it so much. And thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.